What's up, guys? Welcome to Top Shot Talk. I'm Joseph. Today, we are joined by TJ Laessig. He is the founder of OwnTheMoment. For those of you who don't know what OwnTheMoment is, OwnTheMoment is a website where you can analyze everything from A to Z on NBA TopShot. Excellent website. Definitely check it out if you're a Top Shot collector. And without further ado, TJ, introduce yourself, man.
Yeah. Hey, Joseph. Happy to be on the show today. So how's it going, everyone? As Joseph said, TJ Laessig, one of the co-founders over at OwnTheMoment. You can check out our website, OTMNFT.com. And yeah, we have a ton of different data there on NBA TopShot. And I'm sure we'll be diving into that a little bit more today.
All right, cool. So how did OwnTheMoment come about? Like, how early did you join TopShot? And what gave you guys the idea to start it?
Yeah, so joined TopShot late January. I come from the daily fantasy sports world, and one of the big names in DFS world, Jonathan Bales, had tweeted out about the John Morant that he had bought. That was the first time that I had really even heard of NBA TopShot. So Justin Herzig, who is my co-founder over at OwnTheMoment, and I both started exploring a little bit, and honestly, really just fell in love with the product right away. Just thought that it was really awesome. Come from a sports background, a technology background. To me, it was just the perfect coolness factor of bringing all those things together. And so pretty much the day that I started looking into TopShot, just started buying up a bunch of moments, was having a blast with it. And it was only maybe 3-4 days after that where Justin and I were talking a lot. We were talking behind the scenes about what moments should we buy? How do we kind of approach this strategically? And there was really nothing out there content wise to help you figure this out, to help you navigate it. And so we were like, hey, let's start a podcast. Might as well take the conversations that we're having, record them, put them out there for other people to listen to, because we figured that more people were going to want to help understand how to get this started. And then, from there, things have just evolved, created the website. And our mission has always kind of been to, hey, create the tools, create the content that we ourselves as users would want to have, so that we can help share that with the community.
Yeah, cool. It's so funny. It's like I was in a similar boat as you. I joined in January as well. And it's like you said, like right when you see TopShot, it's almost like it just draws you in. You automatically you just want to buy moments. It's so funny because a lot of people are saying like, oh, it's dead, this, that. But at the same time, like we're at above 500,000 users right now. And they're all just being drawn in like you and I were, It's awesome. It's very funny.
Yeah, for sure. And the TopShot is dead thing is funny. We actually, because they released that there's going to be another one of the pre-registration reservation type packs. And so we tweet out about that. And then everyone's like, what? No more packs. We don't want any more packs. And so we tweeted, it was like, when the packs were free money, everyone's like, when are packs? When packs? Yeah. I want packs. And now people are like, no more packs. I don't want more packs. And the bottom line is you're not going to be able to please everyone. And I think the Dapper team's doing the right thing by taking a real long-term approach to this and not overreacting to the public's overreactions, because people are not quiet about their opinions when it comes to TopShot. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I really like the Dapper team, and I like how they really remained cool and calm and collective over these past few days, because like you can't please anyone in this community. Everyone's just, it's like you said, just like probably over a week ago, everyone was just begging for packs. Now all of a sudden it's completely switched just because there's some slight panic, but I'm with you. It's funny. All right. So with that being said, though, I think a lot of people want to know what drives the market right now. You're an analyzed website, so who's better to ask than you?
Yeah, it's a good question. And it's something that we've actually talked about a decent bit. Unfortunately, right now, the market kind of either all moves up together or all moves down together, relatively speaking, is what we've seen. And what I mean by that is that, if things tend to be trending upward in the right direction, then it kind of doesn't matter what moment you buy. That moment is going to end up gaining over the course of, say, a 5-7 day period. Likewise, if you're in a bear market, it doesn't really no matter what you buy, that moment tends to be going down. And I think that's just the nature of it still being so early, of it still being a ton of new users, of it, everything is still kind of figuring itself out. The hope that we have and that I have is that in the future, we have a stable market that then becomes almost more like a reflective of a player stock market, right? So Steph Curry goes out and has a big game. I would love for it that it's like, okay, well, people see that and they buy Steph Curry's moments and his price
Yeah.
goes up. Whereas
Mhm.
right now, I don't really feel like there's that direct correlation. I think it's just kind of more arbitrary right now. Like you could buy the moment of a player, he could have 3 good games in a row, and then the price has gone down. And you're like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. Like I bought this player because I thought that they were going to do well, or I liked their schedule for this week, or whatever reason you had. And if your hypothesis comes true and the moment still goes down, that's super frustrating. Whereas if it's like, hey, I bought James Harden and then he had 3 bad games and the price went down, I can live with that because it's like, okay, I can understand why what happened. And I would say the other thing is that it's one thing that definitely drives the market is new pack releases. And unfortunately, it seems to be having a negative correlation right now. So we've seen pretty much every time they announce specifically if a new rare or a new legendary pack, that leading up to that, the market will go down. And I believe that's because people are liquidating their accounts so that they have the Dapper balance to purchase the pack if they get the opportunity. And then the challenges, I would say, is another thing that is always pretty active in the marketplace, and where we see the most volatility is usually in the players that are involved in the challenge.
Yeah. Oh, it makes sense. So I totally agree with you that when you really think about it, it should make sense logically that if a player is having a good week or whatever it is, his stock should go up. And I know that you guys found an Easter egg when it comes to hardcore, so I want to talk about that later. But right now, as of today, Moment Ranks and Swish are the 2 platforms right now which have a fantasy league. So I wanted to, do you think that that's gonna add special utility to Top Shot? That's a pretty big deal because it will promote people to buy players that are doing well instead of just trading because, oh, I just want to buy this player because I think it's going to go up. It's going to be like, well, I need to buy a Steph now because, well, Steph is the best point guard in the league right now or whatever it is, and I should definitely get on him. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think, well, first off, haven't had a chance to personally dabble in the new Moment Ranks play game, but it looks
Same.
really awesome from what I saw on Twitter. And I think it's a great thing for the community, great thing for the Top Shot market, adds that extra level of utility. I know Swish was up and running for a bit and they've been down for the past couple of weeks now. But I think it's a really cool concept. I think that it gives you more reason to purchase a moment other than just the collector aspect, adds that element of utility. So I'm really happy to see that other companies are coming out with ideas like this, concepts like this. Obviously DFS is something that's super popular. And yeah, I mean, who knows, maybe someday we see a company, or maybe it's Moment Ranks itself, that's able to get like a gambling type license similar to what FanDuel and DraftKings have, and people can actually buy in with their moments. And I think we'll continue to see innovation on this front. We also we believe we found the Easter egg with relation to the showcase finals tournament that the Dapper team directly is going to run, which seems like a similar concept just in terms of basically fantasy sports related to the moments. And I think there's other unique creative ideas that can come in this space. And to me, it's really how many different gamification aspects, how many different utility aspects, how can we continue to build a community around the moment so that it's not just you buy moments, you hold on to them, you hope that the value goes up, but actually when you're making purchases with them, there's some sort of utility value. And we also saw yesterday the Hornets coming out with some sort of in-game NFT benefits. And I think we're going to next season see that from a lot of the NBA teams. So I think we've only barely scratched the surface on all the awesome, cool things that can be done with this NFT technology. And I'm really excited to see what Dapper directly comes up with, as well as any of the third-party tools, companies, et cetera, that are being built around it.
Yeah, it's true. And well, people need to realize that it's like you said, these things keep changing, whether it's third party and within NBA Top Shot, because they're still in beta. How long do you think this beta lasts? For some people, it's getting a little frustrated, and I understand them. But do you think this beta lasts up until the summer, until the end of the summer, or do you think this is going to go on for a while until they really get things together?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can look up quickly, because I know Roham actually
Mhm.
put out a tweet or something. I saw him reply to someone where they said, what does coming out of beta mean? And it was around, instant withdrawals. It was
Mhm.
around 99.999%, effectiveness in terms of technical capability. So for
Oh,
example, the little issue that they had with collector score on the drop the other day, it's hard for me to speculate. I mean, my hope would be that by next NBA season that we are out of beta and into the full product come,
mhm.
September, October. And I'm sure that that's something that is well on their radar and that they are targeting. But I think that they're definitely prioritizing making sure that everything is, fully functional, making sure that users can withdraw instantly whenever they want to, making sure that they have all their kind of KYC, know your customer aspects figured out. So I'm hoping for the beginning of next season, but I think
Mhm.
that they're going to take as much time as they need, and that they're not in a rush or feeling any urgency to get out of beta. And I think that's the right decision.
Yeah, I agree. It's true. There's no rush, especially if they're doing well. They have over 500,000 users. I don't think there's a rush. Shouldn't complain. It's actually, I think it's better to be in beta while they're doing bad, and then when they go into beta, hopefully it'll come with a boom. So then this way, it's just there's no rush if if they need the time, And
Agreed.
so with hardcore or with these other fantasy ideas, do you think that because right now the market seems to it's been a pretty steady idea that if you have a lower serial number, it has more value. But how are they going to give lower serial numbers more value when it comes to the future hardcore or these games?
Yeah, good question. So we do know that the tier, so common versus rare versus legendary, are going to have some sort of extra utility in the hardcore game. So for those of you that don't know, hardcore is the mobile game, the video game that the Dapper team is working on, that you will be able to leverage your moments in some way within that game. We don't know a ton of extra details outside of that, but one thing that they have said is that basically if you have rare legendary moments, they'll get some sort of power up boost, some sort of additional utility compared to common moments. The serials, that's an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
I do not know that, but I would hope that there's some sort of incentive in that case to, if you, especially if you have a number one serial or a jersey number serial, or even a perfect score, as they say, the last minute serial,
Mm-hmm.
getting some extra utilities there. I'm sure that they will work something in there so that becomes valued. I can't
Yeah.
necessarily speculate onto exactly what, but that's a good question. I think
Yeah.
they'll I think they'll come up with something.
I was thinking about that because me, for example, like I'm going and I'm buying. I love rookies, so I'm going and I'm buying like even if it's like a 300 Anthony Edwards. Then I'm thinking like, listen, I hope I really hope this matters in the future. Or else I just spent the extra whatever $100 for nothing. But at the same time, I love collecting, so it's cool. All right, and you mentioned that last pack. So that last pack caused a lot of it. It just caused a lot of chaos on Twitter.
Yeah.
Um, People were a little upset because it was the first negative return on investment pack. Do you think that's a bad thing?
I do not think it's intended to be a negative return on investment. I think it should be around neutral in an ideal world, right? So if the pack costs $150, I think that the expected value should be right around $150, maybe even a little bit higher, right? Maybe say like, I don't know, $200, just kind of spitballing a number randomly. But what that would mean is that, yes, oftentimes you will open a pack, and if you went right to the marketplace to sell all the moments in the pack, which that's not supposed to be the point, right? The point is not supposed to be that you buy a pack and you instantly try to flip it for profit. So I want to say that first and foremost, right? The point is supposed to be that you buy a pack to collect moments and, keep them and hold on to them. So I think people that are thinking about it from a flipper's mentality are already kind of down the wrong train of thought, and that is
Yeah.
not the purpose from the Dapper team. But that said, the idea of a kind of neutral EV pack would be that a lot of the time you're going to be right around the 150 or even below it. But you're playing for that kind of lottery aspect, right? Of, well, I could pull a LeBron, or I could pull a number 1 serial, or a jersey number, or, one of the high end rookies, similar to if you're buying a pack of physical sports cards, or, buying a Pokemon card back in the day and hoping to get the holo Charizard. That to me is what is intended. It was, I imagine, never intended that a $100 pack was automatically worth $500. The worst thing that you could do was get $500 worth in your pack. That's certainly not sustainable. However, I definitely don't think that the goal should be that most people in a $150 pack only get $100 worth of moments. Like, that's obviously a terrible experience too. So ideally, it should be, in my opinion, if you get a pack that's an average or not so great pack, you about break even. Maybe you lose a little bit, but not significant. And then you play for that upside of the LeBrons, the number 1s, the jersey numbers, etc.
Do you think that they made 1,800 per rare with this drop? Yep. So do you like that? Because I know it's rare, so you can get away with that. I know they did that with the Rising Stars and the All-Star pack, but it just, compared to what was happening in season 1 and even in like the early series 2 ones, sorry, it's definitely a huge jump from 500 or whatever it is to 2,000 or 1,800.
Yeah.
So
I would like to see the rare and legendaries remain more scarce. I have no problem with flooding the market with the common moments, right? The 35Ks, get them up to 50Ks, 100Ks, whatever. To me, that's just like the thing for entry, right? And Top Shot has always stated that their goal is that common packs are just readily available at any time. At any time, you can go and buy a $9 pack. We're pretty much getting to that point with these reservation packs that they're going to be coming out with every week. So you can get 1 pack a week if you want to. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what people do, because they're not thinking that these packs are worth the full $9 anymore. And that's also okay. Like, again, it should transition to people are buying the packs because they want more moments. They enjoy the experience of opening the pack, and they give themselves that upside of, hey, maybe I can pull a moment that I really like, or pull a moment that's really valuable. And hey, worst case scenario, I spent $9 and I only get $6 back, like $3, whatever. That's worth it for the experience. But for the rare and the legendaries, I think we need to keep some level of scarcity, some level of uniqueness. And I don't love the idea of continuing to blow up how many of each are minted. And I especially don't love, the constant cycling of new rare packs, new legendary packs. Like,
yeah.
And that's one of the things to me that is, I get, but it's a bit problematic, is you never know what moments are going to come, right? Like, we have this, they've said that there's a 50-50 chance that there's going to be a legendary rookies pack. And that would be cool, no doubt. That would be awesome. But then it's just going to continue to dilute all the other rookie moments that are already out there. And the Cool Cats Master Challenge is the perfect example, where the LaMelo Ball reward that is supposedly coming, the Cool Cats Master Challenge has just gone on for such a long time, and people are kind of over it right now. But B, if they continue to just mint more and more other rare and or legendary LaMelo moments, then that Cool Cat Master one just becomes, one of many, as opposed to something that's truly scarce and truly has that special vibe to it.
Yeah, because I'm happy you brought up the Cool Cats Master, because I was really thinking about it just from like a visual point of view. If I'm a new collector and I come on Top Shot and I see that LaMelo's rookie moments, there's a rare, even the Rising Stars one, which has 2021 minted, and then there's this non-rare Cool Cats one that has 2,500 or whatever it is. It's not going to have a higher value in the long run. And I feel I was actually chasing that Cool Cats Master in the beginning. I ended up selling my Luca, unfortunately. I mean, maybe I should have chased it. I don't know, but I'm thinking the same way as you, that it's going a little bit too far. And I think that was a learning experience for them, though.
The one thing that's still, so I personally have been going for the Master Challenge from the beginning, and at this point I'm pretty much pot committed, and I'm definitely going for it. But my one hope with that LaMelo is that the people receiving this Master Challenge reward, right, I would think, are true collectors, because they went through the effort of collecting all 29 or whatever Cool Cat moments it is in order to get that LaMelo. So I would imagine that people that are doing that are not just going to go ahead and be like, okay, I'm going to now sell this LaMelo for $1,500 after going through all of that effort, right? When you compare that to a rising star LaMelo, when somebody just happened to, spend the $99 luck box into getting a pack, and then like, okay, I don't care. I'm just going to sell this quickly and get my money back. So I expect that the quote unquote diamond hands effect should come into play with the LaMelo Master, and that hopefully makes that moment a little bit harder to come by, because the people that earned it are not just going to give it up like without getting some solid compensation back for it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good point. And also, I think that at this point, NBA Top Shot is definitely going to, I think they're going to do something really special. In my opinion, it's just my thoughts. I think they're going to do something special for all those people that unlocked that LaMelo, just because they know how long it went on for and how tough it was. And I have a feeling something good is going to come for them. Yeah. So next thing I wanted to chat about is, I don't know if you saw that Raiders tweet yesterday, but that Raiders tweet was a pretty big deal. That was a big deal.
And the Top Shot account quote tweeted it with the eyes emoji too.
Yeah. And do you think that okay, so it pretty much looks like they have a licensing with the NFL. I know there was a lot of people who thought that Ecomi or whatever it is, VV, had the licensing. It's clearly not true, or whatever it is. But do you think that's going to translate negatively or positively for the NBA Top Shot platform?
Very good question. So first, I will say that I am definitely in the camp that I believe the NFL is coming. Obviously, that's far from confirmed, but to me, ever since, when Dapper Labs went from raising $305 million at a $2.6 billion valuation, and then just a few short weeks later started raising again at 7.5 or 7.6 or whatever, I was like, to me, I mean, that could only mean that they got the NFL contract, unless there's something else, something massive had to happen. And to me, the most logical one is that they secured a license with the NFL. Raiders tweet out basically Top Shot NFL packs yesterday. Top Shot responds to it. So to me, that's a little bit of a tease of like saying without saying that, keep an eye out, something's coming here. I think in the short term, it very well could have a negative impact on the NBA Top Shot market, because I think that you will see people that liquidate their NBA accounts in order to purchase NFL moments instead. So I think that you'll see some short-term waves there, but I think that long-term it's good for both platforms, because it will just bring more people in.
Awareness. Yeah.
And I mean, we actually, a couple of weeks back at On the Moment, we put out a survey to our Twitter followers. We got about 1,300 responses. And one of the questions we asked was interest in other NFT projects. And one of the results we saw was that we had a question of, if Dapper Labs got NFL, like on a scale of 1 to 5, what would your interest level be? And it blew every other NFT project out of the water. And granted, maybe it's a bit of a biased audience because it's our followers, and our followers are pretty heavy into sports right now. But I think NFL would just be huge and would bring in a lot of new people. I also think it is going to be super interesting because it's going to be a level playing field from day one, right? So whereas in NBA Top Shot, most of us weren't around when there were cosmic pack drops and hollow Series 1 pack drops, everyone's going to be starting from the same foot in NFL, and there's going to be pack drops that just start the ecosystem. And to me, that's going to be like a true free market type of scenario, where there's not going to be the OGs that are holding all the most valuable moments because they got in before everyone. As soon as they launch, everyone's going to know about it. Everybody's going to get involved. Yeah. And I think long-term, it'll be beneficial for both NBA and NFL.
Yeah. Even playing grounds, even the UFC. I'm a fan of UFC. I don't know if you are, but I am very excited for that UFC also. I know that America's favorite sport, it might be baseball, but it's also football. So that's going to definitely shake America. But UFC has a crazy fan base. So hopefully that makes noise as well. And like you said, we're going to have even playing grounds now. So that's exciting. So I know that the guys that own the moment, you and your co-founder, you guys love Zed Run, from what I understand. Who doesn't love Zed Run? for those of you who don't know what Zed Run is basically it's an NFT. I guess it's horse race betting, I would say, where you own a digital horse, and this horse retains DNA through the blockchain. And then you could breed your horse, you could sell its offspring. But then you could also, when racing your horse, you can make money. And TJ, you love Zed Run. I want you to tell me your thoughts on Zed Run. What do you think the future of Zed Run is?
Yeah, so Zed is something that we recently have started getting a bit more into. They had their massive Terra drop last Friday. So I tried to, which I guess I have a couple thoughts. Like, I think the thing that's awesome about Zed is the utility, right? So unlike TopShot, there's a number of different ways where you can provide utility for the digital horses that you purchase. So like you said, you can, well, first off, you can just race them, right? They've got tons of different races every day. You can race your horses and win money by winning races or doing well in races. You can breed with other horses, so there's that. Or you can just buy and hold and, hope that your horse increases in value over time. So I think that's really cool that there's more of a gamification aspect to it, something that TopShot obviously has coming down the pipeline, but I think we can learn a lot from what's going on in Zed from a utility standpoint. The things where I think Zed struggles a bit more is the onboarding ramp is much more difficult than NBA TopShot. And this is why, so for the Terra drop last Friday, I put together like a video, did a whole podcast, made like 2 slides about how to sign up. And no joke, it took me probably 4 to 5 hours to finish 2 slides because the process is just not as simple as TopShot, right? TopShot, you open up an account, you can deposit right there with your credit card if you want to. Like on Zed, you've got to have a MetaMask account. And so for a lot of people, they don't even know what MetaMask is. So then it's like, okay, well, maybe you know what Coinbase is. So if you have a Coinbase account, you need to transfer your Ethereum from Coinbase to your MetaMask. Then you need to open up your Zed account with your MetaMask wallet. And then within your Zed wallet, you need to transfer the Ethereum to the wrapped Ethereum.
Yeah.
And trying to explain that to some of my buddies that barely understand TopShot, that's just not going to happen. Yeah. So I think that's what TopShot has really done well, and why they've been able to grow so quickly is because when you're on the TopShot website, you don't even really know that you're interacting with the blockchain at all. All of that is happening behind the scenes. It just feels like you're on a normal website. Everything's in US dollars. You can use a credit card, etc. But I got myself a purple horse in the drop last Friday. And the drop was really fun. So how they did it was there were 12 kind of mini drops within the time period. And it's not, there's no queue system or anything right now. The horses just kind of pop up, and then it's first come, first serve, trying to make those purchases. I was able to get one, and I failed on a bunch of others. Apparently the 9 p.m. drop was easier to collect, but I was kind of out and about, so didn't quite put in the effort to get any more that way. But I really, I'm not heavily invested in Zed financially, at least not now, but I am taking this horse. I haven't raced him yet, but I think at OwnTheMoment, we're going to do a little horse race one night, stream that, have some fun with it. And I think it's just cool. And we had Rahul Sood on our podcast at one point, who is big into Zed. He's also big into the esports world, and particularly involved or runs a company around betting on esports. And so I think I could see that being an even next level evolution in Zed Run, is not only being able to race, but having third parties be able to bet on the races that are taking place. So, I could not have a horse in this race, but I could bet that I think Joseph's horse is going to win and get a certain number of odds. And as we see with things like the Kentucky Derby, people just love betting on horses. I also saw something with the Preakness and Zed. I don't know if you saw that. I didn't read too much into it, but the Preakness is coming out with some sort of NFT relationship with Zed, and it seemed like they're going to have a bunch of one out of one NFTs.
Wow.
For the Preakness race upcoming. So I thought that was pretty cool, but
that's awesome.
I don't know enough about it to really elaborate, but people can
check it out. Yeah, it's definitely awesome. I think that it's like you said, in terms of like simplicity, I think Top Shot really takes the cake because it's almost it's illogical how simple they made blockchain. But when it comes to utility, Zed, it's almost like the sky is the limit. Like imagine you could put on a pair of VR goggles and just sit in your bed and just completely just watch a horse race. Like it looks like Tron almost. I don't know if you remember that movie Tron, but it's so futuristic.
Yeah.
Almost like we fast forwarded 20 years with that thing. It's awesome. And yeah, well, I also wasn't able to get a horse, by the way, on that drop on. I don't know how you got one. Congratulations to you though, but I was sitting at my computer. I was angry. I was trying to click everything I could.
I know it is frustrating. Luckily I got one early on, but it's tough.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people trying to grab them. I mean, and you can buy them. So then if anyone's interested, you can buy on a third party marketplace. Yeah, OpenSea.
So they have breeding, right? And I really was thinking yesterday because the community was going off on Top Shit about how they have no utility, this, that, whatever. So I was really thinking about how they could add more utility. And breeding it seems to be a common theme within not just Zedrun, but within a lot of NFTs, especially like CryptoKitties even has it, which is the first project that Dapper Labs had. So do you think that it's possible? I know it sounds a little funny because they're like people, but do you think that it's possible to somehow implement a breeding process to NBA TopShot?
I think it could be possible within the hardcore game when that comes out. And maybe not quite breeding, but like examples that I've heard. And again, this is completely unconfirmed, but just what I've heard is an example of how the video game may work is that, I have a LeBron James moment and a Steph Curry moment, and I can teach my LeBron James to shoot 3-pointers like Steph Curry, or I can teach my Steph Curry to dunk like LeBron James. So maybe there's some elements of that where you can almost like like FIFA type things where you can almost like build out your own kind of players by combining characteristics from different moments that you own. So maybe there will be some elements of that, right? Where it's like, okay, well, I want to collect not only a bunch of different player moments, but specific plays. Like, okay, I want to make sure I have some 3-pointers. I want to make sure I have some dunks. I want to make sure I've got some blocks. And that is one possibility there, but I think that would be a cool element. And yeah, I think that's one of the things that makes Zed unique is that, okay, you can purchase a horse, but then it's not just like it stays the same forever, right?
Yeah.
Like you can kind of train it, grow it, breed with it, create, your horse offspring. I think the rules are that the males can breed 8 times a month and the females can breed twice a month. So that puts the females in a little bit more demand. But yeah, all of those things, I'm sure Top Shot is thinking about if and how there's ways that they can incorporate just, again, different gamification, different utility aspects.
Yeah. And all right. So now that we're on to other NFTs, sorry, I got to ask you, because some people here who just started into Top Shot and they're thinking like, wow, I would love to get into another NFT that's early. Do you have an NFT project outside of Zed and NBA TopShot that you've been looking at recently?
Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't say anything that I've been super deep into. What I've been doing so far is just kind of high level, keeping track of what's going on. Like was following the Bored Apes drop, which I think are kind of cool. I don't know if it seems cool to me. And I'm not going to lie, I had a ton of FOMO when I'm on Twitter and everyone's got these apes as their profile picture and I don't. But I'm also wary of, like, you look at it and I think I saw that there were 10,000 apes and like 1,300 unique owners. So to me, it's like, okay, it's a small group of people that are being very loud and kind of, creating a bit of that FOMO aspect. So I think that's one thing to always be cautious of with the NFT projects, is making sure that it's something that is not just a pump and dump type situation. However, I do think that the apes is one that's interesting. It seems like they really are building more of a community feel around it. And I feel like that to me is the future, right? And you see that with the crypto punks. Like there's definitely a punk community with the crypto punks. You had Larva Labs also come out with the me bits last week, which I know had some controversy in itself as well. But one thing that I am super interested in, and I haven't gotten too involved as of yet, but the whole metaverse concept is really interesting to me, whether it's Decentraland or Sandbox. But
Yeah.
I'm bullish on some sort of metaverse winning in this space long term and creating that kind of digital world where people can take their NFTs, whether it's, being able to in the future take your NBA Top Shots off of Flow and pull them into, a metaverse that's built on Ethereum. That to me is something that I've always been super interested in and that I am passively investing in right now, but have kind of goals to get more involved there.
Yeah. Have you ever watched, I don't know if you've ever watched the movie Ready Player One?
I have. I feel like that is where we're heading.
That's where we're heading. Yeah. It's where we're heading.
And I know. I think I feel like I said that jokingly at first, but then each and every day I'm like, no, we are actually heading there.
And you have to accept it.
It's really happening. Yeah, exactly. And it's cool.
Crazy.
It's almost like we're gonna have, there's gonna be the physical world, and then there's gonna be another little world, and I think in a lot of elements that's cool, and that's why you see the Meebits coming out, and it's like, okay, that there's going to be some sort of battle for what's the avatars that are going to be the cool avatars to have in the metaverse. And I think that just like we've seen in the art space, we're going to continue to see that evolve, and we're still just so early in all of this, which I know can sound a bit cliche, but it really is the truth, because we're in a bubble here. If you're listening to this podcast, you're in a bit of a bubble, but a lot of people that are just out there on the streets don't, maybe they've heard of an NFT because they saw the Saturday Night Live skit or something, but I think there's still a long way to go. And I'm really excited about all the possibilities that this world holds.
Yeah. It seems to be like pretty much wherever I go and somebody meets me and they're just like, oh, what do you do? And I'm just like, well, I do a little bit of NFTs, and they're like, oh, what's that? And I'm like, well, I can't sit here and explain to this guy what an NFT is. I just don't have that time. And I'm just like, but one day you're going to know. And I'm just like, as of right now, like, if you're, like you said, if you're listening to this, you're literally a pioneer. Like, we are pioneer. It sounds funny. It sounds cliche. It sounds corny, but it's like it's like knowing what Bitcoin is 10 years ago, or whatever it was. Like, it's the same thing. It's pretty crazy.
I completely agree. I've talked with some of my friends about it. Some of them, I feel like I get a mix of reactions. Some of them kind of get it right away and are like super interested and want to learn more. Some of them don't get it at all, but they like trust me. And they're like, okay, well, if TJ thinks it's a good idea, then I should probably but they're more just like, okay, just tell me what to buy or tell me where, they don't actually care, but they're just like, okay, well, I'll put some money towards this way. And then there's others that are just like, look at me like I'm absolutely crazy. And to them, I'm like, we'll see in 5 years, like 5 years. I'm not, that's the thing. I'm not saying that this is all happening in the next 5 months or year or even 2 years, but 5 years from now, then we can look back on the conversation we just had where you looked at me like I'm crazy, and we'll see. We'll see who's laughing. And hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I feel pretty strongly that it's not really a matter of if, it's more of a when this really takes off more and more mainstream.
Yeah. Okay. So I got one more question for you. You got to tell us, what's your favorite set on NBA Top Shot? Just your favorite set overall. I have my favorite. Just want to know what's yours.
Oh, my favorite set. That's a good one. Let's think. Hold on. Let me do a little cheat sheet here. I don't know that one right off the top of my head, but let me take a look. This is a good question. I like that a lot. I'm surprised they didn't do it again. I really liked the rookie debut set from Series 1. I thought that was a cool idea. I don't know if that's my favorite set, but looking through, I think that is a neat one. I mean, you know what? It's a hard one to say because there's so much negativity around it right now. But I think throwdowns is an awesome concept for a set, because regardless of what you think about the Series 2 throwdowns, the players that are in it, like I went through and watched a bunch of the videos, and they're all like legitimately awesome plays. Yeah. So that one's cool. But I think when it's all said and done, the favorite set of mine is the metallic golds. And I think I think we know that that's one that they're going to continue to have for each and every series. I think that for me, like if I'm ever employing a strategy where I'm trying to level up, and by level up, I basically mean selling cheaper moments in order to consolidate and buy more expensive rare ones. Metallic Gold Series 1 is always the one that I'm going for. To me, it's the coolest set that is the most, at least somewhat reasonably affordable. Still, obviously, they all aren't, but it's not completely out of reach like the Series 1 Cosmics or Hollows or anything like that. So I think the Metallic Golds is my favorite set overall.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for coming on the show, man. I had an awesome time. Really a cool dude, man. And well, looking forward to chatting with you more. And
Thanks for having me.
of course.
Thanks for watching today's video. If you like this interview, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. I do interviews all the time, and I plan on giving you guys more NBA Top Shot content. If you're interested in investing in other NFTs and staying up to date on the latest crypto and hype NFTs, make sure to follow my other account, NFT Kings, on Instagram and Twitter. Stay tuned. Peace out.